ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections: the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. Joining me on the show today, great friend of the show, you know him, one of my favorite co-hosts, Mr. Jeremy Hunt. Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Are you experiencing any spring up there yet, or is it still frozen north?
I will tell you, yesterday, my wife and I actually went for a walk outside. It was like 60-some degrees.
That's what I'm talking about.
As I came downstairs just now, today, the next day, it's below 32 a little bit, and it's snowing and windy.
Hard
and cold.
pass.
And that, my friend, is why you moved to Florida.
That's exactly right. Well, I'm glad you got one day at 60 anyway, but I'm doing good.
Awesome. And you've been in the parks a little bit recently. What have you been doing?
Well, yesterday I got the chance to go to the opening day of Flower and Garden, which is our favorite festival. And last year, I mean, we never miss it. And last year we skipped the opening week because we thought, well, it's going to be crowded and we got stuff going on. We'll just wait. Well, guess what? The second week never came.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't get to go at all last year. So we went, I took the day off actually yesterday and went for opening day. And it was supposed to be horrible thunderstorms and rain. And we were like, seriously, why? But it rolled through early in the morning and it was a beautiful day, mid-70s all day long. We ate way too many things from food booths and generally had a great time.
I'm so jealous. Can I tell you I'm jealous?
Well, sure.
Of food and weather. Well, Jeremy.
I did get a sunburn, though.
Oh, that would even feel good to me. I don't know what my body would be able to do with all that vitamin D. Well, Jeremy, you're on the show. So generally we're talking either food, which we've already started with, or some love and hate. But it's just not you and I talking.
Even have both. Why not both?
Why not both? But we have a special guest on the show. Reached out, had a couple resorts he would like to talk about. Joining us on the show, listener Stephen Bakari. Stephen, how are you doing?
Hi, thanks so much.
Pleasure to have you on the show. We always, when we have a...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when we have a guest on, we always like to ask them what their Disney story is. Stephen, how long have you been a Disney fan? How did it all begin for you?
I was born into it for sure. My parents were both, I'll call them e-ticket goers. They were way back in the day. I think they were there either the first or second year it opened to Disney World. So there was no getting away from it. I probably had my first trip at 3 or 4 years old from New England area, and I've been, 36, 37 times at this point. So it was always our family vacation. Everything was down there. We've had a lot of family celebrations and everything. Now just completely hooked. My wife also had a very similar background. I came from day trips, 12-hour days and staying in the park and then heading back to our Days Inn hotel, whereas my wife's first trip was Grand Floridian. So
oh man. That's a lot to live up to.
I was the one to show her what value resorts looked like.
Was that a good thing?
She sees my side of the coin, but I think she'd still prefer the Grand Floridian.
Like, wow, these values are really, really nice. Thanks for.
Where's the golf cart?
In the Disney Foundation for a long time, I'd say. I'm loving it. And we recently became DVC members about a year and a half or 2 years ago now.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
What's your home resort?
Copper Creek.
Nice.
Yes. That is nice.
Man.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yes. It was a big day.
Well, we're not here to talk Copper Creek today, but we might have to have you on later for that.
Totally.
Today
Absolutely.
we're going to talk about our love and hate for Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we have Steven here. He's going to rescue me in particular because I haven't stayed there.
Right.
So we got a ringer.
Yeah, I have stayed here a couple times. I'm partial to it. We sort of stumbled upon it, I would say. There was a room deal the first time that we went down. We were planning to stay somewhere else, and we just couldn't pass up the room offer. So we took advantage, and we ended up really, really enjoying it. And we've been back since. So we went once before the Grand Destino Tower was built, and once after.
Since I haven't been, can you briefly give me an idea of what the theming is for Coronado Springs, like in a nutshell?
Yes, yeah. So it's Latin theming, and it encompasses sort of two distinct areas. One would be sort of Mexico and South America. Think like Three Caballeros type of background from a Disney perspective.
Okay.
It almost feels like you're walking around pueblos in small, almost Western towns. And then the Destino Tower is Salvador Dali inspired. So it's Spain. They have a lot of his artwork, and I'll get into a little bit more later. But really, it's like general Latin theming, I would say. It really quite beautiful. It's very two stark differences between the Destino Tower and the old Coronado setup, but they work well together.
Very cool.
Very nice. So, Steven, let's start off on the positive note. What's one of your loves?
Yeah. My first positive, so just a little more background.
Mm-hmm.
It's a convention center hotel, almost first and foremost. It's a lot of rooms and a lot of convention space. And most recently, it was used for the NBA teams who were down there. They have so much convention space that a lot of teams used or had set up practice courts and areas to work out and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. If you followed any players, they were often posting from swimming in the pool or riding bikes around the area like that. But it is, as convention space is, it's a lot of restaurants. It's a lot of space. There's a lot of activities, and it's kind of simple logistics. You know, you want to keep everyone there and happy and have meals and things for people to do. So that's really the basis for it. And so my first pro is there's a lot of restaurant options compared to other moderate or value resorts. I think there's 10 restaurant options on site before you'd have to go to room service.
Now
and
you're speaking my language.
Yeah, and if you haven't been over there, it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's some of the best Mexican food on site. There are, I know, I think was a Frontera Cucina in Disney Springs,
Mm-hmm.
which is really good. But the Three Bridges Bar and Grill is really awesome and has a wonderful atmosphere. And then they have the Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood, which is a higher end steak place on site. And they have kind of some different things. Like there's the Dahlia Lounge, again, Salvador Dali inspired, where they have tapas and wines. And it's on the 16th floor of the tower, where you can see fireworks and stuff from the.
Man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this place is a bit of a hidden gem. It really is. They also have everything you need. So they have a cafeteria, the Maya Grill, which is sort of their food court cafeteria type option. But then they also have a sports bar and grill in there. They have a coffee place, the Barcelona Lounge, that has an assortment of Spanish coffees and other coffee items.
That in particular is on my list. Because there's some resorts that have really good coffee options, and I'd heard about that one, and we've literally talked about that recently. If they'll let us, some of the resorts won't let you in now to visit, but if they will let us in to visit, we are going to try that out.
Yeah. My wife is the big coffee drinker, and I think I posted actually on the Facebook page. I got her probably 14 or 16 of the Joffrey's coffee this past Christmas. So
Yes.
she loves pouring the coffees on site.
That's awesome. I think since the adding of the tower, it's kind of hard to call it a moderate resort, don't you think, Stephen?
But yeah, I mean, you could still get a pretty good room rate if you're staying outside of the tower. But moderate in terms of price or in terms of
amenities is what I was actually kind of talking about.
Amenities, yeah. Honestly, it has more amenities. There are pieces. We'll get into the cons. There's some pieces it might be missing that would keep it down compared to other resorts.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of restaurant options, it's a top tier, I would say, in terms of what's on site for hotel restaurant options.
Is this the place that used to have Pepper Market? And if so, is it something else now?
The El Mercado de Coronado was formerly the Pepper Market.
Got it. Okay.
So really, that's my first pro. And add on to the food of that pro at that Three Bridges Cantina. Three Bridges Bar and Grill there's a Mexican cheese dip and there's an elote, the Mexican street corn, which is awesome. And my wife said that I'm not a big drinker, but my wife loved the cocktails there. And I mentioned in a Looper Nation post earlier some of the churros on property. These are not street cart churros. These are perfect. They're amazing.
Who doesn't love it?
That's my first pro.
Awesome. I'm going to jump on a different pro for me.
Do it.
I find the location for Coronado Springs to be almost perfect.
Why is that?
Well, it's really close to the animal kingdom. It's relatively close, although you have a couple stoplights between, the studios. Epcot's a little further, but not really. It's an easy on to World Drive over to Epcot Center Drive. The big surprise for the location for me is the Magic Kingdom. Because you think it's kind of far away, but once you if you take the bus, once you leave the parks, you just get right on World Drive. You get off at that exit. And what's that? Is that Buena Vista Drive there? And the resort's right there. It's so quick. If you drive or take a bus, you'd be surprised how quick it is actually to the Magic Kingdom.
And if you guys have been following the development of Flamingo Crossings, I don't know if you have, but it's a big shopping, dining / hotel / apartment area that Disney is developing. If you come out of the Coronado and you take Western Way, you run right into it. And there's a lot there that's done now. It's looking really cool.
Oh, wow.
And so now, especially if you're staying at Coronado, you could be there in 5 minutes and doing some shopping and dining apart from the Springs. And even the Springs is not that far. It's just the opposite way on Buena Vista Drive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, exactly. I find sometimes going to the Springs from that side of property, you get a lot more lights.
Oh, definitely you do.
But... Or, you can also take that Sherbeth Road. When we head towards the Animal Kingdom, that Sherbeth Road is a great escape route out to the one side of 192 there also.
Yeah, that was a good tip from you the other time.
Yeah.
You're close to Blizzard Beach, too, are you not?
You are.
Coronado?
Yes. And Winter Summerland.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Mini golf.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime there's mini golf in the hotel, it makes life a little easier. Something to do.
So that was one of my favorites about Coronado Springs.
Tim, you stole my one and only love because the only thing that I know is that we pass it, and where it is, I always think, man, that's a great location to be in. Yeah,
I don't think they hype the location of it and how central it actually is.
Mm-hmm. And it is beautiful. Every time we drive by in the evening, that tower is gorgeous. Don't know if I'll ever stay in it, but man, it's pretty on the outside.
Well, Jeremy, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Have you stayed in the tower, Stephen?
I have not. No, neither time. I walked around, checked it out, but didn't get to stay in a room up there.
Well, now you've got a goal.
Yep, without a doubt.
Stephen, what else do you have for a love of Coronado?
The activities there go a little bit further beyond what you get at a normal hotel. So you get your pool, playground, volleyball court, outdoor movies, campfire, the usual, I'd say. But this tends to cater a little bit, like I said, to the convention crowd. So they also have like sunrise yoga, aqua fitness classes, Pilates. They have running trails like there are at other resorts, but they also do a Sunday fun run, which I would never do on a vacation, but it is something that you don't typically see at the hotels. And then they have a paint night, which I have not partaken in, but I thought it was really cool. It's called the Colors of Coronado Painting Experience, and they do it every Monday. It's about $50 and includes a drink and a snack. And what I think is cool about it is done in the Dahlia Lounge, which again is named after Salvador Dali. And you get to paint in an atmosphere that is inspired by, one of the greatest painters. And it's in the Grand Casino Tower. I just thought it was cool. And I think there is one other paint night. I think there might be one at the Bay Lake Tower, but there's not a ton of offerings for that type of activity. So I thought that was a pretty cool, unique experience to Coronado.
It is very cool. I did not realize that.
Do you guys know that, or do you know if there is a convention, quote, season, so to speak? Is that something that happens more in one time of year other than another? Or is it just luck of the draw if you're staying there?
There is. So little more background. My wife and I both worked in event planning when we first got out of college. And right after the holidays, January, February is big convention time. And then the fall, like September through until essentially Thanksgiving, are more popular. But there's conventions all the time. So I'll get into it in the cons, but I think a good recommendation is just try to look up what conventions are happening there and see if you can't get a handle on what their schedule looks like and see if you can plan a little bit around it.
All right. Well, I have a question related to that, but I think you'll get into it, so I'll pause on it for now.
Yeah. So my last pro, Tim, unless you've got one to shoot in here.
Oh, I was just going to mention, since they redid all the rooms are beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. They didn't just do the tower. I mean, they had a recent refresh on all the rooms in Coronado, and they did a pretty nice job with the theming. I personally enjoyed it. Like I said, I think there's a little bit of the Three Caballeros, but it's somewhat muted in terms of decor. It's not just Donald Duck in your face, I'd say.
When you say that, did they literally work those guys in, or are you saying like? Yep. Oh, okay.
Paintings on the wall. It's almost like silhouettes in some of the paintings on the wall and things like that. But yeah, they're in there. They're a part of it.
Right.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed the new room updates. I didn't think I'd like a room without carpet, but we turned out we liked it a lot. Especially now with COVID and everyone to make sure everything kind of seems clean. Yeah. I think those the hardwood floor or the hard floor option is better than the carpet now. So who knew?
Agreed.
Yeah, so that kind of dovetails into what I was going to say. And it goes back to this Walt Disney, Salvador Dali collaboration. So for people who don't know, Destino is a short film that they collaborated on in the 1940s. It's on Disney Plus. You can check it out if you want. I think it's about 6 minutes and some odd seconds long. They met by chance at the president of WB's house, Jack Warner. Salvador was working on a Hitchcock project, and Walt was over there for dinner, and they really admired each other's work, and they decided they want to try something together. It got shelved due to World War II and some other commitments, and it didn't come back until the late 90s. Roy Disney was working on Fantasia 2000, and he decided he wanted to also finish the short film. So they went out and hired the original animator who was working and collaborating with both Disney and Salvador, who was in his 90s at the time, and he finished the film in 1999. Wow. And it is Spanish surrealism with Disney animation, and that's really what they tried to incorporate into the hotel. So the theming is very adult, it's contemporary. They play that Destino short in the lobby. But if you're looking for children with that full immersion of Disney experience, it's not really that. Like this is really more of an adult hotel. I would compare it somewhat to the Riviera, in that it's based off of like Walt's life and experiences and art more so than these characters that we all know and love, the Fab Five there. But it is cool to see something different that is a little more adult, that is a little more contemporary and really art based, and it's quite pretty. It's unlike anything else on site.
For a convention hotel, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Before you guys get into the cons, unless this is one, I wanted to ask about the pools very quickly. Have you tried them? What do you think of them?
Yeah, I big fan. They have like sort of a Mayan temple theme, and then next to it has sort of the volleyball court, ping pong tables, and the pool bar.
I saw the pyramid there, and that's what made me ask. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and there's a water slide off it. They totally get you, because in the pictures they show kids on like the second or third row of that pyramid, but they don't let you climb it. And I'll tell you that from firsthand experience. You got to keep your feet on the ground. But no, it looks like a water feature on top of the Mexican Mayan period in Epcot.
Okay,
it does. I love the pool. I do love the pool there. It's very nice. I love the pyramid theme. It's got a nice little slide for the kids.
Moving into the cons there.
Diving into the hatred.
All right, Stephen, what are some of your hates about this resort? Does it have a lot, or does this have a couple?
No, quick. One is that, transportation, you guys are talking about location is really great, but transportation, you're stuck on the bus. Obviously you could do a Uber or Lyft, but outside of that, there's no monorails, no Skyliners, no boats. You are on the bus in, you're on the bus out. And then because it's such a big hotel, there are multiple stops around the resort. So a bus trip isn't bad once you get on the road, but it can sometimes be difficult getting on and off the bus at the beginning or end of the day.
Wow, Stephen, that was about my only hate also. I had this exact same thought about the buses. If you catch a bus, it's great. But, your options are,
it's the process of catching it that's the problem?
It can be, but no. What do they say, every 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Theoretically.
In a perfect world.
All right. And then the other con goes together with that convention idea is that you might land at an all-star resort. You see large groups of young athletes or school groups going for chorus and things like that. But Coronado has the large groups of adults wearing their lanyards, rushing around to get their coffee or the sandwich before the breakout session starts. And like I've recommended before, just, see if you can get your hands on a meeting schedule so that you can plan getting down to breakfast, or if you're planning on a lunch at some point, you can do a pretty good job of avoiding the crowds if you know where and when they're going to be.
And that was going to be my question, because if you don't do that and you do happen to stay during a large convention, in your opinion, does it make it not a bad place to stay, but does it definitely take the enjoyment down, harder to enjoy the resort?
I just having been immersed in events, it doesn't bother me so much. We were there. It was I want to say it was like the largest like Christian ministry conference in the world. It was like A2000 or something like that. That's the name of a baseball glove, but I don't know what it was. But we were what was going on the last time we were there, and we did not have any problems getting a reservation or anything like that. The things to look out for are, like, if the conference is starting on a Monday morning, expect that check-in reservation Sunday night is going to be busy. Yeah. Expect that restaurant reservations Sunday night are going to be busy. I don't really care. Like, I'm up early, out to the parks early. It doesn't bother me so much. But if you are planning to be around the hotel the entire day, it's probably worth trying to take a peek at their schedule.
That's a good tip.
Solid advice right there. We've visited. I remember in particular we visited. It was either yacht or beach at one point, and there was I don't know what was happening, but there was so many people there, clearly of the lanyard set, and it was just difficult to get anything done or go anywhere.
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. But it also depends on the group too, because a good group is lively and having fun, and it kind of just adds to the experience. So if you get in with a fun group, that can actually be quite enjoyable.
That's true.
Before we wrap this up, Stephen, I want to know if you agree with me on this. A lot of people might say, I don't want to spend the money to stay in the new tower, but I would suggest, the rooms and the main original buildings are fantastic, and I would recommend staying there, and you're going to have a great vacation and a great room.
I would agree, and you could take for full advantage of all the amenities at the tower at that point too. I mean, that's where you can go get your Spanish coffees and try out the different restaurants. And yeah, we have stayed at those rooms twice and had wonderful experiences both times.
Awesome. Anybody else? Jeremy, you have anything you want to add or ask? Steven's kind of our expert on this hotel. I love it.
Yeah, I know. Well, so non-resort detail. Do you guys? What do you think about the price and the value? So those two things, do they add up to a smiley face for this resort?
Yes. Yeah. I really do enjoy being here. My only real pick is if they could get a Skyliner in there just to get you off the property a little faster. But price-wise, it is comparable to the other moderates, but I think with the restaurant options that you get, and some of the theming, if you're looking for a different theme, I think it's a wonderful hotel to stay at.
Well, I agree with everything you've said, Stephen. All right, guys, before we wrap it up, anything else anybody wants to add?
I want to stay here.
I want to go back.
Oh, same here. Oh my gosh. I'll make a group reservation. We'll all go.
Is there any way we could get like the presidential room in the tower? They probably have something like that. I'm sure they do.
Probably.
All those basketball players stayed somewhere. I'm sure they weren't in the economy suites.
They weren't in the tiny cabana.
That's right. Oh, awesome, guys. Well, let's wrap this up. Stephen, thanks for joining us on the show today.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Jeremy, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Jeremy, if somebody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram at Jeremy_Hunt_FL. That's a lot of underscores, but they're in there. And I'm in Looper Nation Live a lot.
Yeah, you are.
Say hi.
Awesome. And Stephen, where can people find you?
I would start at Looper Nation. I'm pretty active on there. Most recently, I'm enjoying it. So if you want to reach out, feel free.
And I'm Tim Scott, Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. If you'd like to book a trip, maybe you want to stay at Coronado Springs, ResortLoopTravel.com. Everybody, you've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic. Stephen, take us out.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.